Hello, everybody. It's the pollinator. Um, I wanted to. The name of this video is called The Hidden Criminal. And in a minute, I'm going to read to you this post that was sent to me on Facebook, and I'm going to end up sharing this video to numerous places, social media sites on the internet. But this article was created and written by a friend of mine named Flex Jones. And I'm just going to dig right in and then have some comments to make after I read his very well written article that he wrote on March 26th. I don't know what date. I think this is the 28th, so it was just 2 days ago. So here we go. You're going to get to see me on video with my glasses on for the first time. So I need them to read and to see small things. So, all right, here we go. All right. During this past week and the month of January, as I have had to hear and read the remarks of many in our LGBT community speak of two incidents that have publicly been exposed by way of broadcast media and social media. Many are placing negative remarks toward this incident. Several remarks have labeled this incident as being appalling, disgusting, dumb, crazy, irresponsible, and more in many blog posts. Many are upset over the incident, and others are placing blame on the action taken. In this case of the North Carolina incident, as we are all learning of this matter, we must not place judgment. We are not the judge or jury. We don't know all the facts because the media only relays what is given to broadcast. What we do know is this: an incident that has affected the state of North Carolina and its LGBT transgender community with saddened news of illness, death, and arrest surrounding the practice of illegal silicone injection, a health risk that very much concerns many lives and has been illegally practiced for many years throughout the world, which is a cause of many deaths. Today, I felt to journal my feelings regarding this matter, for I knew the young transgender woman that died in January 2017, and I also know of the trans woman that was recently arrested and charged with the act of illegal distribution of medical care and possession of an illegal substance. She has been served and charged for the death of the young trans woman as well and is awaiting trial. Point number one. What is appalling is that drug dealers go to jail for dealing illegal drugs, but never serve time for the death of many lives lost toward addiction. Now think, both parties knew the consequences, did they not? Yet the government uses our tax dollars to pay for a drug dealer's incarceration and for drug rehabilitation of an addict. In the justice system, this is what is called human right to life. Point number two. What is appalling is that transgender persons have a daily hardship chore seeking employment or funding to live daily due to being transgender. Because of this, many don't and cannot afford to have honest, reasonable medical assistance, care, or affordable insurance that could assist with body dysphoria, which transgender people deal with on a daily basis. This is part of why so many resort to unhealthy and illegal avenues to find ways for their body to match their true gender, only to find a way to live in comfort within a world that places the word shame upon many transgender persons' lives. Many avenues taken, be it legal or illegal during transition, are deadly. I am sure 100% of all parties involved knew the consequences at hand. One sought out an illegal avenue to help to find comfort and the other gave illegal assistance to help another suffering. A health risk was taken that caused both parties to suffer, causing death and incarceration, which was orchestrated by two ignored hidden criminals. Remember that. Hidden criminals. Okay? What is appalling is the government system and society that fails to honestly acknowledge it has failed the transgender community pertaining to the safety, wellness, and suffering that transgender community face daily, the life sentence of dysphoria. It is frightening to think that an incident like so will trigger what the citizens of North Carolina are not aware of, which is the state government's long-time under-the-carpet persistence to control the pharmaceutical industry's distribution of medicine. This can in many ways affect how patient prescriptions are administered and purchased. In turn, can place devastation and harm to many lives, including North Carolina's transgender community. With this incident, North Carolina's transgender community must become awake, aware, and prepared, as it may find itself once again to fall prey of what I shall call the scapegoat syndrome, as it has recently experienced with HB2. So, recap. The state government system had created HB2, aka the bathroom law, using the transgender community as the scapegoat to the reality that HB2 contains Jim Crow discrimination toward many in the state of North Carolina. The transgender community for many years has had to fend for itself by establishing organizations, programs, funding, awareness, and more to combat the issues such as health risks to assist the well-being of its community. But it just is not enough, because every day many lives are affected as we lose 10 souls a day to murder, suicide, medical risk from illegal hormones to illegal silicone and injection, and more. Now let me stop right there. I just wanted to say something about the Jim Crow laws, Jim Crow discrimination. And for those that don't know what that is, those were laws that were created around black people many years ago to put fear into white people about using the bathroom with us, drinking from fountains with us. When I used to travel to Florida with my mother would put me and my sister in the car, and we would go to Florida. We were forced to pee on the side of the road because there were white-only bathrooms, and the gas stations didn't have black bathrooms. This is the 1960s, folks. So the Jim Crow laws and this fear that they're instilling in people about public bathrooms is bullshit. And it got targeted at the lesbian, gay, and bisexual community to instill the same fear surrounding AIDS and other things like that. And now it's being targeted at us. And all it is nonsense. Anyway, let me go on. Before we judge this matter, let's regroup deep within our own selves. Ask how or what are we failing in our very own communities, and how within mainstream society we can place toward a realistic positive change that is proactive, that will assist many transgender lives that are facing suicide, murder, or illegal medical assistance. It is heartening that 2 valuable lives have been affected in such a way never thought of. I cried and mourned for the lives of both trans women taken from us, one to death, another to incarceration. No one has truly acknowledged nor placed blame towards the 2 hidden criminals. Body and gender dysphoria, these criminals place a life sentence of discomfort to many lives. It is time these 2 hidden criminals are acknowledged for the many deaths they have caused and lives that have been devastated. It is only right to express that all transgender men and women seek to find a life of comfort while living in a world of bondage, where society is the warden standing by while the transgender community struggles to escape its life sentence of dysphoria, which is being uncomfortable with your body. And some people are uncomfortable, and some people just, it does not fit what their brain waves are telling them, that they are one gender when their body is another. Okay? We all know truth. Body and gender dysphoria are the hidden criminals in this incident, and the action taken by both trans women knew these criminals too well that they were victims ignored. What is sad is that there are many others who are suffering as victims as well. Society has bluntly ignored the act of, yet unknowingly encourages and assists these two hidden criminals by way of ignorance. Okay? To the reader, I ask, are you appalled? Knowing that transgender individual lives are ignored when it comes to the human right to life, only to be given choice of the human death or life sentence, where society in this incident has failed to see the hidden criminal that preyed on the lives of these two North Carolina trans women. Judgment of this incident will not change a thing. What will change is to take physical action toward the fight to see that the two hidden criminals that are involved are rightfully exposed and combated within society, giving the transgender community relief and honest human and civil right to life. Okay, that's his article. And you know, my personal opinion, point number one, there has not been one documented, not even documented, there's been not one incident of a transgender man or a transgender woman molesting anybody in the bathroom. We're in there to do the same thing every human being is in there to do, except for derelicts and perverts and cisgender males of that nature. Cisgender males, not transgender. Okay? Everybody has to use the bathroom. And we do not do anything but go in there and use the bathroom and get out. That's what we do. The men who were born and agree with the gender the doctors assigned them, those are called cis males. They are the ones to be afraid of. They are the ones that will want to dress up like women and go in and assault little girls and women. And, you know, who's raping who in this country? Who's getting away with that because they don't have laws like they do in the Middle East, where if you get caught doing something like that, your penis gets cut off. So you know what? They don't rape their women and children there, because if they get caught, guess what's going to end up missing on their body? So what do? They fuck goats, sheep, anything else they can find, but they don't do that to other human beings. Okay, so that's point number one, is that the right to life, the human right to life, the human right to use the bathroom, they're forcing us into a position where it's not safe for us to use any bathroom. Think about it. You know, what are we going to do? Start using the bathroom out in the public? Or pee or shit on ourselves to avoid public bathrooms? And who walks around with their birth certificate on their body? That is what these HB2 laws and all these other laws are starting to crop up all over the place. That's what they're all about. And who's going to enforce that? And whose tax dollars are they going to be using to enforce that? Don't they have better things to do than stand outside of a public bathroom and card people like it's a bar or a club and say, oh, well, you don't have a birth certificate on you, so you can't use the bathroom in here. That's going to affect everybody. You hear me? What are they going to do? Stand there and try to figure out, should we actually card this person and ask for their birth certificate before we let them use the bathroom? Is this not an insane way to use your tax dollars? And this hysteria is just taking the attention off of the fact that this country, the moral majority, this is not moral. People in control, people with the money, people that are controlling the politicians, people that are controlling the governments across this country. Let's say them, because they're not moral at all. So I'm not going to say the moral majority. I'm going to say the immoral minority. Okay, they are creating hysteria around this issue when it shouldn't even be there. And people, if other states end up trying to follow suit with North Carolina's HB2 law, there's enough businesses in this country that are starting to stand up and fight. But you know what, folks? This is going to be your own personal fight. How would you like to be a lesbian stud and have to walk around with your birth certificate all the time to prove you're a female? It's not just transgender people that are going to be affected by this. And for you masculine-looking heterosexual women who are married to men, cisgender men, how would you like to have to walk around with your birth certificate to prove you should be in the women's room? Come on, folks, you need to start fucking thinking and not letting these politicians pass these laws, because they will affect you. They're going to come to your back door. You think this is just a transgender thing? It's not. It's going to spread like wildfire. And there's going to be all sorts of chaos and crap going on in the bathroom that shouldn't be there. Okay? Now, as for this hidden criminal, they're talking about you not giving us the right to be who we are by creating all these laws. The end of last year, I was totally devastated when the VA, the Veterans Administration, took the option of transgender individuals of having surgeries off the table for bullshit reasons. Funding? Really? How much money are they spending treating transgender people for suicide attempts, for ending up in the psych ward, for providing antidepressant medications, compared to the number of transgender individuals who would opt for surgery when that time comes for them? Not everybody who is transitioning wants to have surgeries. So where did the VA come up with this funding issue as a reason for dropping that off the table and not putting it in front of the military board? Active duty people get on it. Does that make any sense to y'all? And they don't have to prove they have dysphoria or whatever nonsense that they're saying is the reason veterans can't get surgeries. So, that's happening with the VA, but it's also happening nationwide. You push people in the corner, and what do? Put a rat in the corner and see what it does to you. Eventually this stuff has to stop, and people need to become aware and educated and stop being ignorant about the fact that, we're the new target. And just like the entire society basically said, no, y'all will not treat gay people, lesbians, and bisexuals like this. You're going to have to do the same thing for transgender people. The ones who aren't those labels. The previous 3 is about sexuality. We are about gender. We are not gay because we're transgender. That's sexuality. Gender is something completely different. Okay? but we're in bed with, we're having the same struggle that they had. So like it or not, we're all in this, the small numbers of people who are openly transgender have been lumped in with the LGB because nobody knows the difference, because the rest of society is so ignorant. They don't know the difference. They don't educate themselves. They don't read. They don't care to want to know. Even if you have a friend or a family member who is transgender, all people seem to say is, hey, whatever you want to be is fine with me, and they still don't know what it is. They're still ignorant of what I am. I think maybe they might even think, oh, well, maybe this person, maybe my family member is going through a phase, or maybe it's, oh, they're gay. I don't know what it is that they say in their head, but their education level about what I am goes from here to there, very short a distance, and they still don't understand who I am, why this came about with me. Actually, it came about out of birth. I knew before I ever knew anything about this word that something was different about my body versus what my head was saying. I knew that back in the 60s. But, back in the 60s, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how to talk about it. I didn't know what it was. But I just really hope that society will stop being participants in the hidden criminal. Because if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. I learned that in Alcoholics Anonymous in 1983. And I'm sure it was around a long time before then. And that goes for a lot of things in life. If you're not part of the solution, if you're not acting in the solution, if you're not being about the solution, you're being part of the problem. Being silent is being part of the problem. Not sticking up for your family or your friends or your coworkers or whatever who are different from you is being part of the problem. If you stand by and listen to a conversation of a bunch of white people together talking about nigga this, nigga that, and you just stand there and listen, and you don't say anything out of fear that they may attack you, you're part of the problem. But, the answer goes, it's just deep. It's so deep because people are afraid. They're afraid to stick up because they're afraid of what people are going to think of them, versus looking at what this is doing to an entire group of people across the United States. It's killing us. It may make you uncomfortable, but it's killing us. So where do we draw the line? How acceptable is it to you that people commit suicide because they can't transition? They don't have the money. You done fired them because they were transgender, so they don't have money. They become sex workers because they may not be far enough in life where they have a skill that is employable. They may be felons. You don't know what their story is. But how acceptable is that to you, that, that you can't assist with just a word? Those of us who are different and want this much better than you think we do, we want to succeed, and this is part of being successful, just like you in your life. Even though you're not trying to change your body, but what would you do if every time you turned around, somebody or something was getting in the way of you succeeding in life? What if the American dream wasn't available to you because you had red hair when everybody said you need to have brown hair? Of course, you could dye it. We can't dye this. This is not something that anybody would choose to do. You know, some people call it, oh, if you get surgeries, you're mutilating your body. Mutilating is having a boob job. Mutilating your body. Plastic surgery, is that mutilating your body? No, but they'll run around all day long and say transgender people are mutilating their body. No, they're just trying to feel good, just like you do when you get bigger boobs or a bigger penis or whatever. We're human beings, folks. Wake up. Anyway, this is a pollinator, and again, that article was written by Flex Jones, and I just want to put it out there. I'm going to try to make this go viral because awareness needs to happen while we're fighting the chump and his cronies in Washington, D.C., who is being a pass-through for all these states trying to enact these stupid-ass laws that are going to devastate them economically. Because there's a whole bunch of businesses that ain't going to put up with it. Go take a look at North Carolina's economy right now, because all the businesses pulled out because they didn't like this nonsense. Imagine if a whole bunch of people who didn't have a bunch of money stood up, and how quickly we could squash that shit and return that state back to a level of economy that would make it thrive again. It's not gonna. And then Texas is trying to do this shit. And Kentucky. And then there's a whole bunch of other states trying to get in line. What are they doing? Creating an impossible situation. Over bathroom laws. That's how this all started. Over using the bathroom. Okay, I'm incensed enough. I'm appalled. I don't know about you, but this is all disgusting and it's stupid, and people need to be using their brains for something different than fighting against people who are different. I'm different because I'm black. I'm different because I'm a trans man. And I love who I am. Most people in my life do too, even though they don't understand me. But this is an attempt to put some understanding into people who wouldn't go looking for the understanding, or to take away their ignorance. This is your wake-up call. Have a good night.